Welcome to Talk for Leaders. The focus of this channel is to provide a forum with a countercultural, sometimes controversial take on leadership practice. Now, Talk for Leaders will be about the undiscussables, all the things that affect leadership effectiveness and how leadership is practiced that we may experience or observe but don't like to talk about. It will contain education, information, theory, practice, and interviews. Some will consider this disruptive talk for leaders, but our focus really is to speak to the gaps in contemporary leadership, theory and practice, and I talk about the things most leaders and leadership theorists would rather keep silent by connecting the dots that are not usually connected between leadership, gender, and society. Guess what? The picture is neither glamorous nor pretty, but it is the truth. Talk for Leaders presents women's leadership as the current and next it factor for any company that wants to thrive and survive in the 21st century. The unique skill sets and methods that women bring to the table are crucial for providing balanced leadership cultures, and they are a must-have for increasing the competitive edge and your bottom line in terms of revenue. Yes, it lies in the company's ability to identify areas of bias and become more inclusive. Now, the company may be successful at the moment with women's underrepresentation, with the glaring imbalance in terms of leadership practice being the exclusive purview of men. But if women make up 50% or more of employee pools and of the population, their lack of representation in leadership positions is gender bias and a point of serious deficiency in leadership practice. I believe that the next best and brightest high potentials or up-and-coming leaders will include women. It's not about fighting them, harassing them, underpaying them, or putting them down. It is about including them so your company can see a tangible return on investment of their presence in your company. The goals of this forum are: 1, to see evidence of bias-free inclusive leadership cultures and contexts as a norm. By that I mean women's representation in top leadership positions at the executive, CEO, board levels, not just HR, must reach 30% by 2030 across all industries and sectors. 2, I want to see 100% pay equity become the next best in practice standard, the new leadership standard, or specific criterion of best companies to work for. In other words, equal pay for equal work. I am therefore urging and challenging accreditation and regulatory bodies, governments, and organization awards coalitions to add 2 required criteria to professional best practice standards: equal pay and equal representation. Accreditation or award systems for businesses such as Sterling, Six Sigma, Saks, I am urging you to add these as specific criteria for selecting best practice company awards. I also encourage companies to consider including women leaders as a strategic succession planning priority, with focus on identifying quality women or women who are qualified, building their leadership capital through network inclusion, and intentionally promoting and selecting them so that the next generation will fare better than this generation has. There is nothing to be afraid of. We really need to just do it. It will take mindset and conscious leadership work to become aware of routine behaviors, status quo systems, decision structures that become the barriers to competent women as leaders. So this channel will raise the candid issues, the good, the bad, and the ugly. If there are topics that you would like for me to address, send your questions, leave comments, and subscribe and share it so that we can have the truth get out. Family Connections Incorporated, our sponsor, is an executive and leadership coaching firm whose mission is to help leaders in the marketplace transform their companies into bias-free, inclusive, high-performing companies to gain global leadership advantage. They work with leaders and companies that want to make this their leadership standard of excellence.